I'm not doing it.
Jack, say the line.
I'm not doing the intro. No, I'm not. I don't know. You can do it.
What? Jack, we've been over this. You do it every single time. What gives, Jack? Come on.
No, you can do it. You can do the intro. Go on. You do the intro, Robin. Go on. Go for it.
Okay. All right, fine. Hello and welcome to an awful lot of running, a Doctor Who podcast.
Whoa.
Oh, jeez. You give me this one time and you don't even give me a woo, Jack. Come on, spill the beans. What's got you in a huff?
I'm not happy. I'm not happy with this thing we're doing today. I'm not happy with the episode, the ideas. I'm not happy with this at all. Woo. There's your woo.
Well, as Jack has been a bit of a sourpuss tonight, folks, it looks like I'm going to be the only one speculating about these episodes and getting it out to you. Clearly,
no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm joking. I have. Welcome to an awful lot of running. I'm Jack. He's published author Robin. The Ruby Sunday to my 15th Doctor, as we like to say. I know I've done that one before, but we're speculating. We're talking about ideas that are going to be coming forward in season 1 or series 14 or season 40, however you want to think of it. And we're speculating and talking about the ideas, looking at the episode titles, and also looking at your thoughts as well. So, Robin, I have to apologise first of all. I threw you in the deep end there with the intro there.
It's all good.
I have very strong feelings on speculation. I'm very hot on some things and ideas. I'm less hot on other things, which we will come to in this, I'm sure.
That's fair. And I think it's important to point out that this is pure speculation, but we're having fun with this. Like, without a doubt, me and Jack are crazy excited. We're not just getting one episode of Doctor Who in a couple of days' time. We're getting 2 back-to-back brand new episodes, which, following on from the bangers that we've just had, not only just 4 great episodes, but also Ncuti's first whole episode to himself, which was a knockout of the park. Just like, I feel like this is good things to come. We're hella excited, and this is just our opportunity to go, oh, we think that episode is about blah, blah, and it would be good to look back on this little episode and see if we are right or wrong.
Absolutely. And I think it's an interesting, this one, to talk about, especially because you think about, Robin, the last series of Doctor Who we reviewed was Flux. And that was back in 2021. Like, we've done the specials. Yeah, Flux was 2021.
No, not 2022.
No. We had specials in 2022. Obviously, we had Even the Daleks, we had Legend of the Sea Devils, and we had Power of the Doctor in 2022. But the last series of Doctor Who that we have reviewed and people have seen was in 2021. We've had specials since then.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. No, and
it makes this very special, doesn't it? This new coming era. It's so exciting. It already is exciting.
It's wonderful because we're bringing in old fans, we're bringing in brand new fans. We've got like people who have never watched an episode of Doctor Who. There are like people on TikTok going, "Oh, what's this thing called Doctor Who?" and doing the like impressions and their thoughts on trailers, and it's like, that's amazing to see that they're getting their woes. And I
love that so much, because it's just it's what we want is, Doctor Who fans, we tread this sort of weird sort of contradictory line of wanting the show to be successful, but also wanting it to not be so successful that it becomes bigger than not. But I am all for this in this Disney Plus era. I mean, we are currently in the press tour, the media spin. We're seeing so many, amazing things and press junkets and what have you. And, Millie and Ncuti and Russell turning up to the premieres in London and New York and LA and different places. The TARDIS was in bloody Disneyland, for God's sake.
Yeah, and they got the designs on the subway tunnels as well, which is like crazy. Like the thing is, they're not only putting in the big bucks in this series and the advertising, but we're actually getting social media stuff covered about this season. Like if
Yes,
you
yeah.
look back to years ago when there was just little droplets of rain talking about new episodes and such. Now it's boom, boom, boom. Everyone's
Yeah,
excited, and it's
yeah.
just. Oh,
And I think that it's let's face it, Doctor Who fans, we pretend to be marketing experts, don't we? Whenever a new series is coming out, it's either too much marketing or it's the wrong marketing or there's too little marketing. And if we compare it to so certainly towards the end of the Chibnall era, the BBC were just not giving the money for marketing in the same way that Disney
no,
is obviously putting in now. And I really think that's to go back to the, I think that's really horrible, and it's such a disservice that was, put on that team and put on that era, which I think ended really strongly. Personally, I think and we both said how much we love Power of the Doctor when we reviewed it. So it's I just think it is what it is, and it's unfortunate. But let's just hope it can carry on. We have success in the future with it. Okay, but we are going to speculate. We're going to talk about the episode titles, the writers, the directors. I'm actually sat by a copy of the Radio Times, which has all the episode titles in it, like when I was a wee babby, looking at and salivating over those episodes. Full
so good.
disclaimer. I have to start this before we get into our proper speculation with this by sort of speaking about the elephant in the room. I have seen Space Babies. I've seen the first episode of series 14 or season 1, however you want to call it, because I was lucky enough to attend a premiere by BAFTA Cymru in Cardiff at the Chapter Up Centres. Went with Kat, friend of the show, and their partner, Nat, as well. And we had an amazing time. And that's literally all I can tell you. I can't say anything about this until the episode airs because I'm under embargo. So speculation that I have will be based on things that weren't in that episode. So I won't be able to, because obviously it's episode 1 of the series. There are things, there are clues, which are going to be, especially the way Russell writes things. There's clues in where the story's going to go. I ain't going to talk about any of that.
No, please don't, Jack, because I was debating, should I make a funny joke and comment about, well, clearly blank is going to appear. But it's like, if blank does appear...
No,
exactly.
This is all right, here we go. This is it. This is what I hate about speculation. This is my thing. This is the thing. All right, here we go. Okay, it has been, 5 months since Christmas? And I am yet to see a good Mrs. Flood theory. And here's the thing. She's the master. She's the Rani. Every fucking character is the master of the Rani. Every character is Susan. No, it's boring. It makes the universe so fucking small to be like, no, sorry. It's a new character. It's more interesting. Maybe that's the twist. Maybe that's what's interesting. Rather than being like, they're the fucking Rani here. They're the fucking master there. It's just, it's so annoying. It's so stupid. And it's so asinine. And the way you see everything as well, like, maybe it's Clara. Maybe it's this. Why is your fan brain dictating you? Why do you think that the showrunner, why do you think that Rusty Davis is going that far into it? Yes, there's probably going to be returning villains. Yes, there'll probably be things like that. But just to be like, every character's the fucking master. Every character's the right. It's what ruins the speculation thing for me. Is when people, it's just like, oh my god, it must be Susan. No. Like I'm sorry. The time has passed. The time this child has passed. We don't need to be bringing Susan back. We can have the master at some point, yes, but let's fucking rest the master. And if you try and bring the fucking Rani, who is not an interesting character in any way,
Breathe, Jack. Breathe.
That's that.
Jack has been waiting to get that off his chest for a long time, folks. So, it's okay. So
it just fills me with rage when my timeline is just full of XYZ Rani, XYZ Master, XYZ Susan. It's just like, guys, maybe they're a new character. Maybe that's a new story. Why do we have to be treading the same fucking beats over and over and over? have something new, which is what I think this new era is going to be. It's fresh, it's interesting. That's the reason why we had stuff happen in World Beyond and the Toy Maker opening up the realm of supernatural. Let's explore that and do something different.
The thing is, like, what we've gotten as well with these last few episodes, we are beginning to open up into that more parallel side of things, like that more kind of, oh, we've got goblins now, and the idea of the soul. And I think, that opens up the world in so many creative possibilities, which is amazing. So yeah, 100%, Jack. Like, I agree with you where it should be like, no, let's broaden our minds. Let's think what else there could possibly be, and not just have it be such a small scale when Doctor Who is about to get even bigger than it has ever been before. At least that's my speculation, which fits into this episode.
Like I was talking about this before I saw Space Babies. My entire sort of perception of the idea of the Timeless Child has changed. Whereas once I hated it, like with real vitriol, I really like the idea now personally, and I'm really excited to see what potentially could be done with it. We had clues in terms of Ruby Road there were, and the 60th as well. It felt that they were going to do something with it that maybe would have been nice if Chibnall had done, but then there's obviously other stories and reasons behind maybe he didn't do that. And so that's something I'm speculating, looking forward to. Hopefully it's a bit more expansion on that. Maybe it's not so much solving the mystery itself, because I think it gives it's a good new mystery box to add to the series itself, to be like, well, why was the Doctor there as a child and where did they come from? It is achieving what they tried to do, which was putting the Who back in Doctor Who. So yeah.
And the thing is, I haven't watched that episode again since I first watched it, so my feelings on it are still quite strong. Maybe they will change when I rewatch it, and that's okay to have different opinions when you rewatch things. Sometimes your gut reaction to watch something can be quite strong. But I've always, as a writer, as someone who loves creative storytelling, I don't ever think you should, if something is done wrong, or sorry, not if something's done wrong, but if something is looked upon negatively, rather than put close the genie's bottle and be like, no, we're never going to explore this again, that will upset people. It's like, no, double down. I honestly believe that if you've written a character that people don't like, or story element people don't like, double down on it. Find the reasons why people found that negative, or go even deeper so as to prove to people, no, this is relevant, or this has a place in this. And I think a second viewing will definitely have me have a think about this, and it'll be good to see if they do double down and explore that within the season. Like, if they do, great.
And I think the important thing as well is that, we've got our strong feelings on, the idea of the Timeless Child. I'm behind the Timeless Children, the episode. I still am very critical of. However, I respect that other people enjoy it. And why, it happens way too much on Doctor Who Twitter, for example, where someone is trying to praise something and someone feels the need to come in and start bashing it, and it's like, bro, nobody fucking asked. So
there are hundreds of episodes of Doctor Who, and everyone is entitled to their own opinions. And if somebody loves something, for us to say, no, your taste is awful, like in a non-joking fashion, where that person gets it's a joke, where it's like, no, I'm directly telling you what you like is trash, don't like the thing that I hate. That just makes you an asshole. And there's hundreds of episodes. There's going to be episodes that one person will think the world of and another person won't. And that's okay. We've got hundreds of episodes to enjoy. Oh, you don't like something? Great. Watch something else. But at the end of the day, people have these strong reactions because they're all passionate about the same series that they've all come together to love and behold. And that's where this excitement is for this new series. It's just a shame that for you, some people speculate in rather kind of boring or silly ways. And for me, I just really fucking hate the people who are determined to bring this series down before it even airs.
Yeah,
And because
here
they're
for that.
just, it's just like, oh, I'm not even going to quote them, but it's just like, just these fucking racists and transphobes. And it's just like, why? Just why do you have to do that to a series that everyone is crazy excited about and with such a talented cast? We are getting not only an incredible Doctor who's proved himself in his first episode and an incredible companion who I loved already in The Church of Ruby Rose, but we have gotten so many wonderful actors and actresses that are all lined up. Like, this is a series to be excited for, and damn straight I'm going to be excited for it.
Absolutely. And it's amazing to think that, and I've said this before, this series is going to air and they are just about to wrap Ncuti's second series. We've even got a new companion, like, beyond Millie coming in as well in season 2. But that's we'll get to that another time. Right now we're speculating and talking about season 1 of Doctor Who, or New Who, or whatever you want to call it, or Disney Who, or Ncuti Who. Ncuti Who, I think, sounds nice sound to it. Okay, so
didn't we agree once on like what's new Who, or was that
yeah,
something
so
else?
what's the
Yeah.
what's new with you?
New.
What's new with who? Hey.
Hey.
Okay, so we are going to be speculating about these episodes and the sort of the arcs and the things we might see coming into things. So I think it's probably best, Robin, if we run through the actual episode titles themselves, because obviously, a couple months ago now we didn't speak about the podcast, but we had an amazing time when all the titles were dropping hour by hour, some amazing visuals that went with them. And so the titles of the 8 episodes of season 1 are obviously Space Babies, written by Russell T Davies; The Devil's Cord, written by Russell T Davies; Boom, written by Stephen Moffat. Woo! I'm excited for that one, yeah. 73 Yards by Russell T Davies; Dot and Bobble by Russell T Davies; Rogue by Kate Herron and Brian E. Redman; The Legend of Ruby Sunday by Russell T Davies; and Empire of Death by Russell T Davies. It's good to have an Of Death title in a Doctor Who season.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like the quintessential episode title, isn't it? To be like the City of Death, Seeds of Death, things like that. It's like, oh, chef's kiss indeed. Okay, so I suppose maybe we should start off with talking about things that in the series itself we think may be addressed or dealt with.
I mean, I'm actually gonna like put a pin on what you've just said there, and I think there's just one thing we have to address just before all of that. And
Strike that, reverse it.
Exactly. And I think what we have to address is the elephant in the room, which has had a lot of discourse online and everything. And that is a lot of people having strong feelings about the primary writer of this whole series being Russell T Davies.
Yes.
Which I completely understand. A lot of people want to have a lot of versatile writers so they can all bring in the different ideas and the like. And I think any creative writer, full of potential, so many different ideas, sometimes if they're the primary writer, can be a bit stretched thin. Now, these episodes haven't come out, and I've got my own kind of theory as to why this is the case. I don't know if you wish to go first, though, Jack, or if I should continue.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of talk about, this series is very, let's face it, Russ Davis is writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes out of 8. And one of them is being written by another ex-showrunner who was writing the show 20 years ago. And the only new writers we have are Kate Herron and Bryony Redman, who, I think they're famous for doing Loki.
I think so as well.
Which I really enjoyed. I really liked Loki, and
I love Loki.
I loved the first series of Loki. I really enjoyed because I was like, oh, it's like Doctor Who, but in the MCU. That's pretty cool. And I think there is a very valid conversation to be about saying about that. Well, why is it the same two old white men from 20 years ago that are writing Doctor Who again? And I can understand as well that why Russell is writing so much of this series, and in his head, I can see he wants to put his stamp. And I'm speaking for him now, which I probably shouldn't do. If you're listening, Russell, he probably wants to put his stamp on the new era for himself and have it done like that. Sort of set what he considers the standard. And hopefully, in series 2 now, we'll see opportunities for more writers from more diverse backgrounds. But yeah, I can understand why people would be upset with this, especially as well, in Russell's method. He probably, every script here is probably written by Russell, actually. It's just that Stephen and Kit Herron and Bryony Redman will have done, scripts for it, and then he will have done a final rewrite, which that's his prerogative as showrunner. I get that. Some showrunners do it a different way, but I think that's very much the standard for Doctor Who. Is that's what happens. At least the precedent he set way back in the day.
I think it's also important as well, especially when you're introducing a new Doctor, that the writers that you get on board, that there's at least one lead writer who's kind of like pioneering how this Doctor acts. And of course, a lot of how that Doctor acts is going to be through the actor. Like, it's one thing to write a character, but it's the next for that actor to take that material and just shoot it through the sky, just take that performance.
Absolutely. And I think it's worth saying that Ncuti, just in Ruby Road, he took the script and it sang, coming out, quite literally.
Quite literally, yeah.
Damn, I wanted to start the episode by going diddly deet you at some point, but I'll have to meet it now,
Yeah, but I think it makes sense when you think of it like that. And when you look at like the past script writers, back with Christopher Eccleston's first season, David Tennant's first season, Matt Smith's first season, I was looking at them all and they all had at least one writer who was dominant for those episodes. And yeah, that makes sense. So while I completely agree, some more versatility is always great with different types of writers and stories that can be told, at least for the first introduction of the characters, so that the building blocks can be set. And then new writers can go, cool, we've established this. Now, what happens if we build upon this? And I think that could be really exciting.
Yeah, my big hope is, like I say, in series 2, it's going to be diverse a bit. But, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I knew that Moffat was writing an episode about a year ago, if not more. Someone told me long ago, way back when they were filming. And, obviously there was the buzz on Twitter because it was like, oh, he's supposed to be coming back and doing an episode or what have you. But yeah, when it was actually confirmed, I was like, oh, yes, because, it's no surprise to people here that Moffat is my favorite showrunner in terms of the the quality of a lot of his episodes. I really, stuff like Twice Upon a Time and World Enough in Time and the Doctor Falls, Day of the Doctor. A lot of his stuff, the 11th Hour is still probably the strongest, in my opinion. He's got the best opening episode of a series so far and the best finale of an episode in 11th Hour, and then World Enough in Time and the Doctor Falls. Like, they are the two peak parts. And yeah, obviously, every writer has a Duff script or Duff episode here and there, but I really love his stuff. And whereas Russell's direction for the show back in the old days was my introduction and very much my nostalgia, Stephen's writing has always been what I've enjoyed the most, you know, because like
Mm.
personally, in my opinion, apart from maybe Midnight, I think in every series, his like you know pre to his show running, he probably did the best episode in you know in each series, you know, in terms of
No,
quality and tightness of the script. Yeah.
I think that was always what people said back when those first new seasons were coming out. People were looking forward to those episodes. And I think when he then got to write far more episodes, it was very much that case of he still made bangers, but when you're stretched so thin, you know, sometimes something isn't as developed or isn't as good to some people, but that's just the way it is. Um, like still incredibly excited for this series and just seeing what we get out of it, really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the performances are something I'm so looking forward to. Like, you know, just from now having seen two Ncuti Gatwa led episodes, I am just in awe of his performance. Just absolutely love him. Millie as Ruby is probably now one of my favorite TV companions. I'm not gonna lie, straight up.
Oh,
Like
I
the
loved
performance
her.
is that strong. Oh my god! And I can't wait to see things like Jinx Monsoon in the Devil's Court and you know the the not Beatles. as it were, the Howard Wolowitz quartet, as I like to call them.
Mm, like, look, we're not going to bash the actors or anything. Like, they've
Yeah.
been hired to do a role, and they may be that they do brilliant performances. It may be that they nail the voices. It's just
Ugh.
they do not look like the Beatles, and I think everyone agrees on that.
Yeah,
It's like,
but you never know. That could be part of the episode, couldn't it? It could be, hey, John, you don't quite look like yourself anymore.
uh, I'm,
Which,
I'm still expecting them to. Oh, how come they can't play their own music? What are they going to play instead? And they end up just playing like Smash Mouth or something because something's just happened in the time stream, and it's just like,
hey,
and if I'm
look,
right about
somebody
that,
once told me. Somebody once told me the world was gonna know me. Oh wow, I need that. Can someone that can actually do a good Beatles voice please cover Smash Mouth? I beg you. Okay, cool. I tell you what, though, Robin. Let's look at the episodes themselves.
mm,
You know, there's some,
yes,
the titles which I've gone through already are there. There's some very exciting stuff. Like in terms of already think that Devil's Cord is a very cool episode title.
oh, it's such a
You
good
know,
name.
I think that there's definitely some sort of tie to the toy maker. You know, within that. Definitely. I think Moffat's episode simply titled "Boom" is very interesting as well, and something which he sort of leaked himself way back in the day, but put it out as where he was like, "Do you remember when he was like, oh, if I came back to Doctor Who, I'd have to be insane,' and then and then boom, and Joy to the World, and then it's like, oh, Boom is
Oh,
the episode of the night, and we're led to imagine that the Christmas special after Empire of Day, the Christmas special for this year is likely called Joy to the World and maybe penned by Stephen. So,
ooh, I mean that's a good name. Like, take a classic
mm,
sort of lyric from a Christmas song and play with
yeah,
it. Like, that's
absolutely,
good.
yeah. But we've got nothing confirmed about that yet. So that's speculation itself. I say. And then again, like the legend of Ruby Sunday, the Empire of
Mm,
Death, like that two-parter just sounds immense. Like I really think that because we have literally got we've got episodes, sort of we've got 6 episodes which are just one off, episodic, and then parts 7 and 8 are a two-parter because the Legend of Ruby Sunday goes straight into the Empire of Death. I really think that means at the end the Legend of Ruby Sunday is going to end on like an epic cliffhanger. You know,
well, that's the thing, right? Had it not been for them revealing um the newest companion alongside Millie and the like, and the way the trailers are like, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna keep your daughter safe. And everyone was just like, oh, she's dead, isn't she? But then it's like, because everyone thought that. It's just like, you don't promise someone, and it's just like,
Yeah.
well,
Well,
they're
but yeah,
dead.
but that's the thing because we saw, but that obviously, and it's I'm not a big fan of like set reporting and things like that necessarily, but like we knew that Millie was still shooting for series 2, so we knew she was still in it. But then, I think that they had to come out and say that Millie is in series 2 as well, definitely, because let's face it, I don't want to speak about too long, but the British press are fucking bastards. And
Oh
there
my
was some
God. Can we?
speculation and bullshit that went on there, which let's not even cover because it's not fair and it wasn't fair to Millie or anyone involved. So I tell you what, Robin, here's my question for you now.
Okay.
Based solely on the episode title, the writer, anything we've seen about the episode from trailers and snippets today, which episode are you most hyped for, most excited for, do you think?
Mate, I'm most excited for Empire of Death. Like, that image of just the TARDIS in darkness and that title, like, you hit it on the head, just Blank of Death. Like, what the hell is that going to be about? Is that like something like to do with someone who's died? Is it something to do like the undead ghosts, spirits? Like, there's so many things you can go with that, and I just think it's such a strong title. Um, Even though it's probably the episode that I know least about because it's the season finale, and I want it to be that
Yeah.
way. Like,
See, yeah. See, that's the thing as well. Like, I'm literally sat by this with the synopses now. I don't know that if I want to, it's like the teaser synopses, which Russell, has written here for Radio Times. And, I know for a fact that this two part at the end there is apparently Russell has quoted saying it's something he's been thinking about for 50 years.
what?
So that means that there's an idea in this. I think we're going to see some sort of villain from years gone by return. I think that's what's going to happen here. And I don't think this will be Daleks. I can literally read you what it says
Chumleys.
here on the
Bring back the
synopsis.
Chumleys.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to read it. Okay, so it says on the Legend for Ruby Sunday, the synopsis here. It says the TARDIS is on a top secret mission, heading straight for the unit tower in the middle of modern day London, but 10 floors down, a long buried secret has been waiting since the era of the Third Doctor. Wait, and Ruby's mother holds a vital clue that might change her daughter's story forever.
Holy shit. Yeah. Okay. I'm hyped for that just from that description.
Of course, the question is what Third Doctor thing is it? Because you have all sorts of stuff there,
I mean, as someone who is more versed in the Third Doctor's material than myself and possibly some of our other listeners, do you have any kind of monsters from that era that you could possibly even think of? Like,
my mind goes straight to Omega, really, from the Three Doctors, to be honest. But I don't know if that would be that. There's been a lot of speculation about a Fourth Doctor villain, Sutek, being the one to return, but I don't think it's Sutek. It's some sort of elder ancient god. So it's could be the demons, could be the Axos, but I don't think it will be. So it's an interesting one to think about, and speculate on. It's quite nice to see the tradition that Russell started way back, in that an old villain is going to come back in some sense here. Like, I think it's pretty fair to say there aren't going to be Daleks in this series. I don't think we're going to see Daleks.
I hope not. I honestly don't, because as much
you fucking
as
what? I'll kill you.
Well, Jack, come on. Just because they haven't been seen forever,
To be fair, right. The last Dalek episode we had was Power of the Doctor, and they were just there in that. All right.
Look, I love a good Dalek. I love when they are menacing and the like, but when they are constantly brought back and each time seemingly just defeated that much more bit easily, it does take away.
My shouty boys. I want my shouty boys.
Oh, like same, but
boys.
let us be excited. Like, if we don't get a season of them, and then we get them in the next series. Just imagine how much more exciting that would
Well,
be.
here's the thing: what if that's we can only speculate that shooting. Let's say shooty sticks around. I think we know it's pretty much confirmed he will be back after a series 2, which is great, which I think is wonderful. But let's
Brilliant.
say he only sticks around for 3 series. What if he never meets the Daleks?
Oh shit.
Like, wouldn't that just feel a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Mm. That that would be crazy. But I also, for me, it's not necessarily a new doctor meeting the Daleks for the first time that I most enjoy. It's the companions and the doctor having to explain to them just why they're so evil. It just reminds me of the episode Dalek, which we talked about the Radio Times. It's like, oh, let's look up the episode synopsis. Well, I don't need it for this one called Dalek. It's like, um,
Yeah,
but
but then, if I remember as well, like reading that and looking back, and again, I used to have these and would just salivate over the episode titles. Like I finished one and be like, right, what have we got next week? And I'd reread that synopsis over and over and over that week. It, although the title was Dalek, it was the content of it I couldn't have prepared for. It's
oh no,
my
it's a
second
phenomenal
favorite episode
episode.
of all time.
Yeah,
Robert Shearman is my god. So
like the fact that it's Christopher Eccleston has to explain to Rose just how deadly these things are, why they're so dangerous. That I think is so compelling when you sort of have to inform a character who doesn't know just why these things are as dangerous as they are.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah,
no, I
and I think. Oh, sorry. Go on. You carry on.
no, all I was going to say was like, I hope we get at least one returning monster this series because we do love to see them, whatever that may be. But then I also want to see new creatures and new threats because they've got the budget to do all these crazy new ideas, and we've got a new audience who maybe doesn't have the same expectations as current fans have. They're going into this completely raw. So to be able to experiment with the stories and go, well, we're going to have a little bit for the new fans, a little bit for the old fans. I think that's kind of the perfect blend of things.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree, and I think it's Ruby Road is an interesting story because looking back on it, um it's the Rose of this new era,
Yeah.
but it's the Christmas special before it starts as well. So and again, I can probably say this because this is my speculation before I went into Space Babies. I should say my speculation before going into Space Babies was that okay, it's going to be like in episode 2 is episode 1 of the series. I was like, oh
Mm.
my god, it's going to be New Earth 2.0, and then I got scared.
Mm. Yeah. It's funny because it is following that kind of same format of going to the future first before the past. And we're getting a very different past, which is what I really love. Um,
Mhm.
it's it's funny because like we talked about the episodes that we're kind of most excited for. Because like Empire of Death, what a name. It's really funny, and I find this really hilarious because you've obviously seen the episode. Like Space Babies for me is probably the episode that I'm like least excited about, but it's also the
Mhm.
one that I want to be proved like has its I want to be proved upon. Like when you kind of got an episode where you're like, oh well, it's not that I don't
Mhm.
think it's not going to be good, far from it. I'm just like, I'm like, okay, what is this about? Because it's such an odd name. It's just like Space Babies will make your dreams come true, which
See,
everyone was doing. Again, you can't talk about this, and this is what's so hilarious about this situation because I cannot wait for us to discuss this soon after we've seen it, and for me to go, holy shit, that episode was blew out my expectations because my expectations for are the lowest of the episodes. That's what makes me also kind of excited for it in a roundabout way. I'm probably going around in circles here. This is probably not a good discussion, so sorry about that.
Okay,
But
I think I can say this. I
okay,
enjoyed Space Babies a lot. I laughed
great,
and I cried, and that's. I'll move on. Okay, right. I'll move on. Okay.
great.
So
Okay.
you've said what which episode you're most excited for and which one you're least excited for. I've not had that chance yet.
Oh, sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
Okay, so Boom is a very clear one. I should be. I think that I think that one's going to give us a real. There's going to be a Stephen Moffat Doctor speech in that, definitely, and I think that will give us a real like defining Doctor moment for Ncuti, as if he
Yeah.
hasn't already had a bunch. The one I'm really excited for is 73 Yards, which is described as being like a Welsh Gothic folk horror.
What? So
Yeah.
before you go into the description, when I first saw this, I thought that this was going to be the episode where the Doctor and Millie are least in the episode. Like this was going to be the episode where the actors take a break and we focus on other characters, like a Love and Monsters type story.
See, I don't think we're going to get that. I think it's we see very reminiscent of the World's End. Is the pub sign, isn't it?
Mm.
And but no, I mean, what's got me excited for it is first of all Welsh folk horror is that tagline straight away there, and then so for the fact that it's Welsh, I'm very excited for. Seeing as I live in Wales, and there's also been a tagline for this where I think the Doctor might say something about it being the battle or the war between land and sea.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
maybe this is going to give us the first clues of that potential spin-off,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is interesting. But also, again, just the idea that it's Doctor Who leaning full into number one, its Welsh roots in terms of where it's filmed and what it's done for Wales and it basically invented the TV industry in Wales in its current form, and the fact it's going to celebrate Wales in this as well. And I'm very excited as someone that loves living in Wales and loves the Welsh and the folklore and everything around and legend. I think it's very, very interesting to be thinking about that. Like, ooh, yes, please.
As- I I mean, now that you've given that description, that sounds great because it does just look like the World's End, that little Twitter post that they did of that short little clip. Um Boom, I think obviously a phenomenal writer. And when I look at Boom without that description, I think, is this going to be like a midnight episode? Is this going to be they're stuck in an enclosed space because of this explosion, this boom that has happened? And like, yeah, it's like all these different episodes, we could talk about all sorts of different things. Like, I don't know if you want to go from one at a time or just keep things loosey goosey like
No,
we've been
I think I
doing.
should just keep it loosey goosey, like especially as well. There's been a lot of speculation about Rogue in that
Oh,
Jonathan Groff's character, which is the titular rogue, as it were, for the episode. And people have been speculating about him being a Captain Jack recast. And again, it goes back to that rant I had, and I can feel my blood boiling now that
mm,
we just don't need Jack anymore. Like we would just move past it. We don't, let's just make new, interesting characters rather than going back to, yes, a character I admittedly really like, but there are problematic reasons why we're not going back to him.
mm.
So
It's it's very it's very difficult to discuss such a character. I mean, this character, this rogue, they could still be a time agent, like if they wanted to kind of explore that kind of story, that kind of character again, or if they go, no, we're not going to do that because it's been done before, and people may say that, oh, that's just copy and pasted. Dot and Bubble, I've no idea what that's about. I don't know if that's going to be a commentary on social media or the
I
like.
think so. I think so because if you think about it, when like when you see on social media, like when someone's going to reply to you, often it comes up with the dots, three dots
Mm.
in a bubble. So I think it's leaning into that. And like there's something about I think there's the slug monsters in that one as well. Like I think I've
Oh,
seen
that's
that.
going to
Like
be the episode with
that's
the
where the
slug
slug
one.
monsters. Yeah, yeah. So I think that'll be
Mm.
interesting. Very interesting to see as well because again it'll be like don't get me wrong, Russell will throw politics into his writing and do it in a very good way. Like we look at Turn Left, which absolutely predicted a lot of stuff that's currently happening. Because he's so tuned
Mm.
to the zeitgeist. Um, so we're going to see little flashes of that in episodes. I feel that Dot and Bubble is going to be where he is laying his politics completely on the table and
Mm.
basically telling the Tories and anyone of similar mindset, anyone that's a bigot, anyone that's in any way a absolute horrible human being, basically he's going to say "fuck you."
Fuck you.
That's fine. Yeah,
Yeah. I feel like we're both in agreement with that, so I'm glad we got that timed quite nicely,
yeah.
actually.
Mhm.
I just realized as well, we're only getting 2 episodes set in the past with this series, aren't we?
I I suppose, yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? If you think about, because yeah, obviously, Devil's Court, back to the '60s with Jinx Monsoon and the Beatles, and Cilla Black actually as well. Like they've got young Cilla Black in that one as well, actually, which would be pretty cool to
Oh
see.
yeah, they
And
have.
and yeah, no, I just remember this one. That one's got Murray Gold in it playing himself.
Uh,
Weird.
Okay, yeah, sure. Why
So maybe
not?
maybe maybe they're going to break the fourth wall or something, which I think would be very interesting. To do.
Mm,
It's certainly something different, which is what they're going for. Um, Boom is obviously in the future somewhere. 73
mm.
yards. It could be the past. It could be present day. I don't know. Dot and Bubble is definitely present day. Rogue back in time, and then yeah, Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death present day, aren't they?
Mm. There's nothing
Interesting.
wrong with that. Like, if you've got good stories to tell, then as long as we're getting like, I'd say 1 or 2 episodes to represent each kind of era, then great. And I, I've said this before, I'm always a sucker when it comes to stories set in the past. Those tend to be the
Mhm.
stories I'm most excited for or most enjoy.
So you're just
Um,
going to watch The Devil's Court and Rogue. You're not going to watch anything else then.
oh yeah, exactly. Why would I watch anything else? Um, but I know you've had you said some things about the Legend of Ruby Sunday and how what was the meme that you were going for with that?
What?
Oh, sorry, I may have to edit this a bit when you're just like, I've seen this before and I didn't like it. Oh, I, I,
No, I think I've seen this film before, and I didn't like the ending. Taylor
that's
Swift, man,
it.
come on, come
I
on.
don't listen to the music. That's why. I know you're
I'm
giving
sorry.
me the
What?
expression.
I'm
Yeah,
so.
I haven't listened to the music. I know I'm the only human being to or alien by this discussion. And Jack's giving me the I was gonna kill me eyes. But yes, I've not listened to their stuff. I probably have them, but I just don't recognize their songs. I, please don't kill me.
Okay, so things that I think we're going to see, addressed within this series. I think Mrs. Flood is going to hang over. Like Russell has set up a bunch of mystery boxes. We're definitely getting Legion of the Toymaker. We're getting Jinx Monsoon and other stuff as well. It's
Mm,
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Toymaker considering he's been held in unit HQ, I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow has set off the events that come to pass in the Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death. Ruby's story of her parentage, of her in terms of things that her birth mother. I mean, I think there's going to be something there with that. Maybe her birth father as well. I think we're going to touch back in a lot with Carla and Ruby and Cherry, which is just really lovely because I love both of them. I think Carla as
Wonderful
Ruby's mum is amazing. Cherry is already iconic. Just get that queen a goddamn cup of tea. Come on.
Damn straight.
Every episode I see her in, she had better have a hot bevy in her hand. She had better have a cup of tea. That's what she deserves. Nothing less. And so I think we'll see that. I don't think we're going to see the Master. I think the Master is going to be parked. Thank God, because I think we need a break. Don't hurt me, cat.
I mean, you just had a reaction to me with Taylor Swift. You on the other hand, I just imagine Cat just be like, "You what, Jack? You what? What did you say about my precious master?"
Oh, if only, it's all right. I'm not going to see you in 18 days. Yeah, so I think we're going to have some. I think it's going to be a really fun era. I think just from the Church on Ruby Road and from Space Babies. Here's something big. I think Ncuti's my new favorite. I think Ncuti has dethroned David Tennant. I think he has I think the 15th Doctor is my Doctor, and I think this is going to be my era of Doctor Who as well.
That's impressive, because let's face it. I mean, both David Tennant and Ncuti Gatwa are both phenomenal actors. And David Tennant, for a lot of people, is where they jumped on with like the previous new seasons of Doctor Who. So now that we're getting on to this new season 1 and people are jumping on and they're so excited about this, and they're like, no, Ncuti Gatwa is not only my first Doctor, but potentially my favorite as well. That's a great message to hear. And like, he was already great in the whole episode we got him in. He was already great at the end of the toy makers episode. Like, yeah, we're gonna be just in real good territory with this series, I believe.
I really I wish I could say more, but
it's great because you'll have your perspective when we tackle this episode, when we plan, in fact, to record our episodes as quickly as we can after each new episode comes out, so we can get it all to your lovely lots, have our thoughts and everything, and of course, like, take everyone else's thoughts. And let's just use this as a time to be just really positive and excited about what we're getting and get hyped up for each new episode as we discuss them. Like,
absolutely, here. And
fucking yeah, we're getting new Doctor Who.
Oh,
like,
how can I say it? Right. There's some really good stuff in Space Babies. There's some really good stuff with Ncuti, which I wish I could talk about so much, but I can't. So I think Robin, if we've got no further points, no further thoughts, I think it's time to saddle on over into our space-time telegraphs and see what other people are cooking and thinking is going to happen. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, not many this week, which is absolutely fine. But we've got some good ones all the same. First one comes from the vacuum of comments, Ben, our good old friend. Because I asked on Twitter, I said, we want your thoughts and theories and predictions for the next episode. We're going to examine everything we know about the upcoming season of Doctor Who, trailers, airtimes, etc. Give us your thoughts. Ben said, I appear in it. And I just said, why are you the way that you are? And he said, "You're just jealous because I'm getting them Disney paychecks now." I said, "Oh no, I know you're lying." And he said, "No, oh, I'm just." And then he says to me, "Now you're just getting that now." And of course, I replied to that by saying, "You are a thief of joy." Screw you, Ben. Next one comes from long-time listener Oscar Grouchos. At Oscar Grouchos, our puppy pal. Oscar said, "I'm excited or intrigued to see how the mix of stories expands the narrative remit of the show this year. I find the experimental genre defying eps my taste. So the Hitchcockian set pieces of creepy dystopian dread of 73 yards is very me. But then I made a felt, so what do I know?" Ooh. I feel more intelligent. I feel more intelligent just reading that. My God.
Yeah, damn. Can you write the descriptions of our episodes for the podcast? That's good.
Wow. Tilly @quad_matter says Ruby is important for some reason. 15 can't put his finger on it, so he endeavors to find out. My money's on Mrs. Flood, Ruby's mother, and the one who waits all being connected somehow. I mean, that's true. I mean, the one who waits could very well be whoever this is in the in the dungeons and the underpasses of Unit HQ, couldn't it?
Mm.
Last one here from Sean the Mondasian Cyberman at Who Pottervian. My biggest theory is Susan Twist's character is the meddling monk. Just makes so much sense. Wherever Susan Twist appears, time changes in some way or another, and judging by the trailer, there appears to be a major focus on time being altered. I will be more surprised if she isn't the meddling monk. What if she is?
You can't see it, folks, but Jack has the biggest smile on their face as they're just nodding in agreement to this.
I hate all of you. That's it. Two wonderful responses from the mailbag there. Two utter piles of shit. I kid, but do I? Let's head on over to the Cannon Buster. So I'm speaking to you today, Robin, about another sort of mysterious Doctor Who companion. Some people have looked at Ruby and said that she is a Stephen Moffat character or a Stephen Moffat companion being written by Rusty Davis, in terms of she is a mystery box in herself in a way. And so I'm going to take you back to the days of 2013, 50th anniversary on the way, and we had Clara Oswald as companion to the Doctor, the Impossible Girl herself. An enigma. No, I'm not going to say the rest of that line.
No. So, Jack, what were you going to say? Sorry, did you want to repeat that again?
Was it enigma? In a skirt that's just a little bit.
You can't even finish it. Oh, Jack.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, Robin. It's not so much a cannon buster, but it's more of a what if. Okay. Following Series 7B, or following Series 7, obviously we had the 50th anniversary special, that being Day of the Doctor, which featured Matt Smith, David Tennant, John Hurt coming in as the Ward Doctor, and Clara Oswald, played by Jenna Coleman. Robin, did you know that for a long time, Jenna Coleman was the only actor contracted for the 50th?
No.
Which means that which means that there could have been a timeline where, and obviously Matt would have done it anyway, but there was a time when Moffat had spoken about before about there being a plan of basically, the end of the name of the Doctor ends with Clara going into the Doctor's time stream, and then he jumps back in himself to pull her out, and that's when we see the reveal of the War Doctor. Basically, the idea would have been that the 50th would have been Clara going through the time stream and appearing at different points in the Doctor's life, I'm imagining, which would have been interesting. Considering yet again they had no fucking doctors, they had no doctors contracted, they had no doctors that had to be there.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's Ted Baker. Hello, Ted Baker. And it's just him stand backwards. You just see the hat, you see the scarf.
Yeah, especially,
like only the back.
But especially because Ted Baker would be the fucking version from Wish, because it's Tom Baker, Robin.
It's just like, oh, can you come over here, give us a wave, and it's just always facing the back.
No, Robin, you get his waxwork dummy from
Manchester. Oh no! Oh no! Oh,
just bring it back out again, you know.
Come on, it's a classic pop. You know, the fans would be happy with it. It's like,
I bet it's melted. I bet it's like I don't know how.
Oh,
I don't know
God.
how good, like, you know, I don't know, like, we're talking it being over 40 years old now, that
What's like been put against like a radiator, and it's like a Five Nights at Freddy's monstrosity now.
Oh my God. Or like, you know, what, Raiders of the Lost Ark, where it's
like,
oh my God. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, just a little one today, just to think about that. What if, you know, what could have happened there? You know,
you could still do a good story out of that. You take the limitations of what you give and you make it into something like her exploring the timelines of the Doctors. Hell, that's still a really good premise or a story.
I think it could work now on TV, because you could have it be that they are pre-Hartnell Doctors, that they're, you know, they're timeless Doctors, if you were, and you could literally just have, you know, X, Y, and Z celebrity cameoing for a day of filming, and then, you know, Clara or whoever the Doctor, whoever the companion is, going on to the next, you know, incarnation, which could be interesting. Like, you know, you could have, just thinking off the top of my head, like Hugh Grant as the Doctor. You could have,
oh my God,
Florence
that'd
Pugh.
be amazing.
You could have The Rock as the Doctor.
No, we need to bring back the Giga Chad, Rowan Atkinson. We need to bring him back as the actual Doctor.
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to canalize that in a way as well. Yeah, it'll be, you know, that could be an interesting thing to do. You know.
Oh my
God.
The
other side of it is that it might also work really well at Big Finish, where you can literally just, it's all on audio, and you can have, you know, Clara appear, and it'd be like, yes, Mika, I heard why you've come into my junkyard. You seem to have, and then, you know, you can go onto there, you know, going from there onto, you know, different Doctors. You go, yes, Charlie, this is Clara, my friend. It's nice to meet you, Charlie. Clara, you know, you silly little girl.
See, now I just want it to be, it's Rowan Atkinson in Unit Tower, and he's in the dungeon. Just something stupid like that. That's my official fan theory. I'm the only person in the world to get that correct. Like,
oh my God, what? Who let bro cook? Who let bro cook? Okay, so yeah, Robin, that's our Cannon Buster this week, and this has been a fun little tiny episode. As much as I have a disdain for certain speculation and certain ideas, I think that we've I can't wait to see what happens, really. And I'm not gonna lie, if Legend of Ruby Sunday ends with the Rowan Atkinson Doctor coming out, I am gonna hunt you down and fucking kill you.
Well, the two then.
Until then, I have been Jack.
I have been Robin.
This has been an awful lot of running. And keep
running.